Hey everyone, RJ here, and today we're going to be talking about communicable diseases. So, what are communicable diseases? Communicable diseases are diseases that are transmitted through direct contact with an infected individual or indirectly through a vector. As you can see from the diagram illustration below, the infected person has multiple ways of spreading their sickness without them even knowing. There really isn't a way of calculating which method has the highest degree of transmission, but what we can confirm is that without proper knowledge of the sickness that one may hold and the lack of proper hygiene from both parties, the chance of that certain disease spreading is almost guaranteed. If a disease is caused by viruses, bacteria, fungi, or protozoa, it's likely, although not always, communicable. Rabies, HIV, malaria, influenza, and athlete's foot are just few examples of transmittable diseases that you might have heard of before. The University of Puget Sound from Washington states that washing your hands and cleaning your personal space frequently are the two easiest, non-pharmacological ways of stopping the spread of infection, possibly even starting. Immunizations can drastically reduce the chances of contracting many diseases. It is important that vaccinations are always up to date and to get them as soon as possible if you suspect being behind. What you are about to see is a video example of how easily an infection or sickness can spread without the use of proper hand hygiene and how life-threatening it could possibly be for a patient who is already hospitalized. Josselyn Frazier, starring as Dr. Sad, and Taylor Bowers, starring as Dr. Happy, are the two main characters alongside of patient Robert Downey Mannequin that made this short possible.
It's funny though. I'm so sick. I don't want to be here today.
Oh, what do you have? I can do it for you if you want me to.
These patients, such a pain.
Okay, well, I'll go see him.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'll be taking care of you today. My name's Taylor. How are you?
As you noticed from the video, Dr. Sad showed up to work feeling under the weather. She wiped her nose and coughed with her hand while holding onto the patient's electronic medical record pad. Without Dr. Happy noticing Dr. Sad's actions, she quickly grabbed the contaminated EMR pad and began walking to the patient's room. Dr. Happy, who thought to be healthy, is now holding Dr. Sad's possible sickness. To top it all off, she forgot to wash her hands before entering the patient's room. She then proceeds to introduce herself by shaking his hand. With the use of a blacklight, although it may be difficult to see through camera, we are able to pinpoint contaminated portions that Dr. Happy and Sad spread in just one conversation. What you're about to see in the next video is a reenactment of Dr. Happy and Sad's conversation. However, what you will see Dr. Happy do is one of the basic ways to stop the spread of infection. By doing this, she is able to protect herself as well as the patient.
I'm just so sick today. I do not want to be here. I do not want to take care of these patients. I'm just so
I can do
tired.
them for you. I have some extra time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'll be taking care of you today. How are you?
As you can see, from one simple example, it is physically impossible to stay away from viruses and bacteria. As human beings, we shouldn't be afraid to go outside and garden, take public transportation, or even work in hospitals. It is important to understand that our body has multiple lines of defenses to protect us from as much infection as possible. However, our body can't completely do it all on its own. With the use of proper hand hygiene, safety precautions, up-to-date vaccinations, and proper nutrition, the chances of us acquiring communicable diseases only lessen. But that still doesn't mean that you're 100% infection-free. If you as an individual suspect of having or have been exposed to communicable diseases, please contact your physician as soon as possible.